Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Late Tuesday night, Mario Cristobal, the Miami Hurricanes, picked up another massive commitment coming from the transfer portal and former Tennessee edge rusher Tyler Barron. And this is a player that the Hurricane fans who were listening Tuesday night, you guys know I'm a massive fan of. And now I want to take the opportunity to dive into the film and really show you guys why I think Tyler Barron can be a difference maker for this Miami Hurricanes program. And you start looking at what this pass rush unit can look like for the Miami Hurricanes. Ruben Bain taking a step in year two. You get Akeem Mesidor back healthy, another guy that we'll probably do a film study on because he was very good for Miami in 2022. You bring in Elijah Alston from Marshall. Now you bring in Tyler Barron. Those are four guys that will be playing football on Sundays, coming off the edge for the Miami Hurricanes, fired up to get into the film of Tyler Barron. Before we get into it, and as always, just want to say thank you to you guys, to the Miami Hurricane fans. Y'all know I've had a blast talking this program, whether we're talking the portal, the high school recruiting trail, the amount of support you guys continue to show to the fellas. It truly does mean the world. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We're going to get into a lot of different film studies for this Hurricanes program. And without further ado, let's get into Tyler Barron. And before we get into the film of Tyler Barron, I want to talk about why I think he's a difference maker for this Hurricanes program. And it starts with, really dominating the SEC the last couple of years. This is an edge rusher that, yes, can certainly get after the pass. You take a look back at the 2023 numbers, a 16.7% pass rush win rate, 31 quarterback hurries, one of the better pure pass rushers that you see in college football, but also an edge rusher that plays the run exceptionally well. This is a guy that has a lot of length in his arms, has powerful hands, knows how to get off blocks. You turn on the film and you kind of recognize why this guy looks so good. He's played so much football in the SEC. And I want to start off with what he can do in the run game. And again, it's not always the flashy conversation when you're talking about edge rushers, but something we always appreciated about Ruben Bain as a true freshman, a guy that, yes, can get after the passer, but you got to be able to stop the run on first and second down to get into those third and long situations where you can pin your ears back and get after the passer. Tyler Barron is going to be a guy that certainly helps you do that. You take a look at his numbers in the run game last year, 16 run stops, an average depth of tackle of 0.1 yards down the field. What does that tell you? Tyler Barron wins at the line of scrimmage. He gets off blocks and he makes his plays at or behind the line of scrimmage. You take a look at this play from UConn. You're going to run kind of an outside zone to Tyler Barron's side. He's kind of lined up head on with this left tackle here. And you run the tape here. Two things that you really like. One, using that length, winning at the point of attack, but more importantly, getting off blocks, right? This is exactly how it should look when you're looking at that stretch zone play, right? Keeping that outside shoulder free, making that running back try to bounce it out. But more importantly, Tyler Barron going to shed this block, make a play for a tackle for loss. You talk about getting into those third and long situations where you can say Tyler Barron, Ruben Bain, Elijah Alston, pin your ears back and go get after the quarterback. You got to win on those first and second downs. And you take a look at Elijah Alston. Again, this is, in my mind, just kind of a perfect play by Tyler Barron, exactly how you want it to look. And you take a look at the next play here. You turn on the South Carolina film. He had this South Carolina offensive line in a blender all Saturday night. You fire up this film, kind of playing that three-tech position, head up on this left guard. And at first you saw him win with the power in his hands, the ability to shed blocks. Now you're going to see Tyler Barron win with just quickness. You look at this guard, not a chance that this guard can deal with the athleticism Tyler Barron has. Gets into the backfield. I believe they called a holding penalty on that. Yeah, you see the flag come in. Those are the type of plays that Tyler Barron brings to this Hurricanes defense. And it's not always filling up the box score, but that's a play that you turn 2nd and 3 into a 2nd and 13. You start getting into those third and long situations. Again, that will be key for this Miami Hurricanes program. And then you start talking about the pass rush for Tyler Barron. And you take a look at the career numbers, 13 and a half sacks during his career at Tennessee, 27 tackles for loss. I would argue that when you turn on the film, he's a much more disruptive pass rusher than what's reflected in the box score, right? You look at 31 quarterback hurries, a 16.7% pass rush win rate. Those are some of the better numbers that you'll see in the SEC, and he wins in such a variety of different ways. And I think the first one I want to talk about is just being able to go speed the power, right? I have long arms. I got really powerful hands. I have the ability to go right through tackles. And you take a look at this rep against South Carolina, that's kind of exactly what you see, playing that true edge rusher role here, lined up on the outside shoulder of this right tackle. One really good get off by Tyler Barron, but more importantly, he's going to use that length and get right into the chest of this right tackle, put it right into the lap of Spencer Rattler. And again, he's not going to come up with the sack, but this is how you play winning football, right? Collapsing pockets, making quarterbacks' life extremely difficult. You'd like to see him come up and make that play. But again, that is kind of reflective of the havoc a guy like Tyler Barron can certainly create. And you take a look at some other reps that you see from Tyler Barron, he's going to line up all over the defensive line. You're going to see him work as a nose tackle at times in those 3rd and long situations. You're going to see him work from that 3 tech right here, kind of shaded over this right guard here. He's going to get the opportunity to work on the guard. And again, the athleticism combined with the technique, the ability to use those long arms and hands effectively to get off blocks. That's what you see with Tyler Barron. You roll this film right here. That's a matchup you want. And again, with how loaded this Miami Hurricanes defensive line is and the versatility that you have the ability to kind of get Tyler Barron in some of these situations where he's going to be one-on-one with this right tackle here, use his hands, a little swim move, again, getting in, disrupting the pocket, forcing an early throw on 3rd and long, getting off the field. Again, this is not necessarily going into the sack category for Tyler Barron on the box score. He is a guy that's playing an integral part in getting this team off the field on 3rd downs. That's winning football. And then you take a look at a few other reps. I mean, this is, again, one of the more impressive reps you'll see from Tyler Barron, where here he's going to be working at that true nose tackle situation, right? Head up on the center. Another really favorable situation for Tyler Barron. Right, you got 1st and 10, kind of an obvious passing situation late in the second half. And you kind of know South Carolina is going to be throwing the football. Tyler Barron, extremely good hands, extremely good get off, challenges this center, not only with his athleticism, but with his length. You see a lot of interior offensive linemen, not necessarily the best functional athletes, but also not a ton of length that they have. You see Tyler Barron line up right up over the center here and just go to work. I mean, an easy swim move, getting right into the lap of the quarterback. If you can manufacture pressure between those A and B gaps, that's how you play winning football. Tyler Barron, again, it's not going in as a sack. That is a clean win. That is winning football. And then you look at just the traditional way Tyler Barron can dominate, and that is as a true edge rusher using that burst and bend. And this kind of goes back to the versatility that can use to win, right? We saw him go speed the power, just go right through tackles. We saw him use his hands, use that swim move to win on interior offensive linemen. Now you're going to see him on this 1st and 10 situation. Again, kind of a throwing situation, less than 2 minutes in the second half. We're just going to go burst and bend around the outside tackle of this left tackle, right? And you roll the clip here. One, phenomenal get off for someone who's 6'5", 250. We are just going to challenge this tackle on the outside shoulder. That tackle cannot deal with the athleticism Tyler Barron brings to the table, doesn't get home to the quarterback, but essentially creating the sack. And we all just showed reps that Tyler Barron didn't actually produce any sacks, but you kind of get the opportunity to see just the pure havoc that a guy like Tyler Barron can create. And you talk about creating those 3rd and long situations, creating those impact plays where you can get sacks, you can have those drive killers. That's what you want from Tyler Barron. And you start looking at the combination of what he can do in the run game with the heavy hands and how he can get off blocks, and then combine that with what he can do as a pure pass rusher, whether it's on the outside, whether it's on the inside. This is one of the more dangerous players that the Miami Hurricanes picked up in the transfer portal. And you start playing around with those 3rd and long situations where maybe you kick Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor on the inside and you have Tyler Barron, Elijah Austin rushing at that edge rusher spot. That is going to be such a difficult 4 guys to block for an offensive line. I think that allows Miami to not really have to send too many blitzes, right? You talk about where you might have question marks for this Hurricanes program. It's probably in the back end of the secondary. One of the ways that you can address some question marks in the back end of a secondary is just having an elite pass rush where you can take a lot of pressure off your secondary, because teams won't be able to pass protect and won't be able to push the ball down the field because they can't protect the quarterback. That looks like what Miami's going after. And again, you landed a guy like Donnie Hill in the spring portal window. I think that certainly helps the cornerback room. I always go back to what Georgia said when they were going into the 2021 season. I should say Kirby Smart. And Kirby Smart said, yeah, we have some question marks about our secondary heading into 2021. They went undefeated, won a national. I think they might have lost to Alabama in that SEC championship game, but they ended up winning a national championship. And why did they win a national championship? It's because they dominated with the front four on the defensive line. You look at Miami heading into the ACC and say, how many offensive lines do you think can block up what Miami has rushing the passer heading into 2023 or 2024? I think the answer is not many. Tyler Barron, massive pickup for the Hurricanes. Appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas. If you have any other players that you would like the boys to dive into during the summer, let us know in the comment section. We have a blast doing these. Appreciate y'all rocking with the boys. If you guys do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later.